Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut here with Mike Kelly, and we're Real Estate Jerky Daily. A little bit later today, we were having some fun with
Echo.
we make changes that you don't normally make changes. You have the studio set up for years. We've been doing this.
And then you walk in, you go, why is it doing that?
Yeah, why is it making that noise? Because it has to. All right. It's Tuesday. God,
Yeah.
this week is throwing me off.
Wait, is it my favorite? One of my favorite?
No, it's only PPI.
Jolts?
No.
No,
that Jobs was last week. Inflation
last
this week. All right, so let's get on with the show.
Okay.
Where are we with the bonds? The 10-year is up to 4.78. We're up 3 basis points on the bonds. All right, so today, is this today's? Yeah, it's today's. Sorry, I've been working on a lot of stuff today. All right, so the PPI number came out today. That's Producer Price Index. It rose 0.2, which is lower than the expected 0.3, and on an annual basis it increased to 3.3%, slightly under the 3.4% forecast. When you look at the core, though, the core PPI was flat month over month, well below the expected 0.3 rise. Year over year remained unchanged at 3.5%.
Cool.
Under the 3.8, they were expecting this. Remember, I was saying this might be a hotter one because we're losing that 1 month last year.
Right.
Well, it came in fine, and the bond market was up to 480 this morning on the 10-year. So we're back off of that, but I was like, wow, this is just getting worse and worse and worse with the rates and everything else. And so, yeah.
What's the date today?
Today is the 14th.
6 more days.
Yeah, but there's just, so the economy is doing really well compared to potentially the unemployment.
Right.
Even though unemployment is still showing really good numbers, it might not be as good as they think it is. All right, but let's get into small business optimism reaches new highs. This is what we're talking about. The small business optimism index climbed to 101.7. That's what it was, to 105.1 in December, marking the highest level since October of 2018. What does this mean?
Yeah.
It's the Trump effect. Okay. Everybody thinks business is going to get better because of less taxes, less all those regulations and all those things they do.
That. Yeah, so easier to do business.
Correct. So they think it's going to be much better, unlike what we've been through for the last 4 years, which a lot of people are saying, oh, this was a great market and everything. No, it wasn't.
Well, it won't change.
In the middle and the low end people were hurting.
Okay.
That people have money and have a lot of stuff. We're doing great.
Now that the legislator in California met, it won't do better in California because they're going to fight Trump on everything, right?
Yeah. Well,
and it's not inexpensive to do business here in California. It hasn't been.
Well, here's what I don't get. They need to understand, if they want to stay around, they need to come together and work with the current administration. The Democrats in California, they're supposed to support everybody in their district, not just Democrats. And that's a problem. I mean, what's his name? The dude that has stroke and everything. Fetterman. He's like, I'm not just for the Democrats in my state. I'm for, my district.
I represent
everybody. So I'm going to work with Trump on things that we work with. That's how it should get back to for everybody. And I'm tired of this fighting just because they don't. That's true. We're going to, fight the Trumps. Why?
Yeah.
You're not doing yourself any.
I call it knee-jerk reactions. It's like, well, you don't even know what he's going to do. Well, no, we're going to fight him, though.
Yeah, well, if you want to become still relevant, get working with them.
I think what's going to happen is he's going to piss his constituents off enough to where they're going to go, you know what, I'm voting red.
Yeah, we're voting in a different way.
Yeah.
Labor market trends. The New York Fed Consumer Expectation Survey showed a significant drop in confidence about finding a new job if unemployed, falling to 50.2%, which is the lowest since April 2021.
Wow.
They're talking about ghost jobs out there. These are duplicate postings on the JOLTS report and are inflating labor market strength. This is I talked about this too, because every time you put a job on a bulletin board in, wherever they put them in each state, that's counted as a job.
Not just one job.
Right. So every state. So you get 50 of those.
Could be 50.
Yes, exactly.
Jeez.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing about, lies, damn lies, and then statistics is the fact that you have to really understand the numbers. And I want to get into that whole LA thing in a second.
Yeah.
But is there anything else? There is a big push in 2025 for fix and flip, the whole professional stuff where they come in, and get the house, fix it up and flip it. But I still think that a lot of people aren't doing that because it's just very expensive. And if you make a mistake, you can lose everything.
Yeah. And, there's just not a lot of them on the market. And you can bird dog them out. I know a couple flippers that are bird dogging some out. But, the sad thing, I think, is it's still taking advantage of people that are down on their luck.
Yeah.
And, no, they feel good because now they're out of a bad situation. Yeah, but they probably left a shit ton of equity on the table. So you could have your margin for your flip. It's in bad conscience with me.
Yeah. I was trying to look there was a DOJ article I was reading about how they went after
jobs.
Well, FHA went after a company for charging people to make payments and other stuff on their system, and it was the largest lawsuit that FHA had ever done against somebody for doing that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, while you look for that,
I don't have it.
I read a little article this morning that Spain is gonna. Yeah, I can read. It wasn't very long. It used small words. So Spain, to battle their rising rent costs, are going to consider charging non-natural born citizens who are property owners in Spain, going to raise their tax base, raise the taxes to 100% of the perceived value. That's interesting.
That's if you are renting the place.
If you own it, they're not going to do it. If you're living in it, it's owner occupied. But if you're renting it out, if you're an investor, they're going to charge you 100% on your.
So they're going to be Texas.
Taxes. They're going to be Texas, but
that's what
only 3. But
no, but 100% of increase.
Yes, and
so they're going to hit you 100%. I don't understand that. 100% of the value or 100% tax.
100%. The tax is going to be 100% of the value of the assessed.
So it's going to
value
cost you, if it's a $300,000 house, your house is going to be taxed $300,000.
That's what it says.
Yeah,
that's what the article said.
Yeah.
Now, what's that going to do to rent?
Well, I think we need to get more information because that just seems too
erroneous.
Much. Yeah,
it
much.
Does seem crazy. And it was a very short article, and it wasn't across the AP or anything like that. So, is it truthful?
I don't know. But at Texas, you understand that whatever your value goes up each year on a rental property, that is your new tax base.
Right.
There is at a 3%. All right. So Newsom's been going around talking about how everybody's skewing the information, and they created a whole California facts website to disprove everything. So the best part about Chat GPT that has come out is you can research stuff and have it find certain things and go deeper and deeper into stuff. So I asked it if it was true about what he is saying, and basically and I'm talking about Trump, but I'm talking about what the governor is saying. And technically, yes. So it's that whole thing: lies, damn lies, and statistics. The CAL FIRE personnel has doubled since 2019 from 5,800 to 10,000 plus. The CAL FIRE budget has increased from $2 billion to $3.8 billion in the same period. Funding for a lot of the stuff has increased. Land treatment, they've done some stuff. But if you really look at just last year, okay, there is $101 million that was taken out of this budget. That is where the problem is. Not the fact that since 2019, the whole thing has doubled. That just tells you we needed more people during that period of time and it needed to happen. But they reduced the funding for wildfire and forest resilience by 101 million. So that's just for the most important thing: cleaning up brush, getting rid of stuff for the wildfires. That's where the problem is.
Making our forests a little less ignitable.
Right. And then there's like, well, that reservoir was offline. It was getting, because there was there was reservoir maintenance for the San Ynez Reservoir in Pacific Palisades.
They suck dry in about 3 hours.
Well, no, it holds 117 million gallons. It's been offline since early 2024 due to repairs of its protective cover. This is a problem. If you're going to take something offline like this that they use for firefighting, for that water, you might want to do the repair much faster. That was almost a whole year.
Yeah.
So I don't care what you say. That is a mismanagement of taking care of stuff. Why couldn't you have taken some of that money that you did for all these homeless and all this other stuff that you wasted it on the high-speed rail, right? That
150 billion or whatever they're doing.
Right. Well, no, I'm talking about the 1,500 square feet of it. Instead of doing that, why didn't you put that money into fixing this for these people instead of putting it in other places? And the whole smelt thing had to do with getting more water down to Southern California, had nothing to do with fighting fires, So when he was like, well, that smelt thing, that's bullshit. That's wrong. That had nothing to do with it. Yes, it did. Because you didn't want to get more water.
Right.
50% of our water that we get from rain goes directly back into the ocean and down the rivers for the smelt.
Absolutely.
And that's a problem. The fire hydrant shortages, that is true. And that has been a problem for 4 years now. There was another fire that happened. I think it was on a coastal area, and a homeless camp started burning this building accidentally. And they went to tap the fire hydrant and it was dry 4 years ago. This is not something that's new. It's been around. So by the way, the LA mayor, the fire chiefs, and Newsom is a problem. Period.
Yep.
You can try to change this any way you want. You're the captain of the ship. You are the person who are in trouble for this. You didn't put the priorities correct.
You need to make sure it's right.
The people who pay taxes, should get the services first.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
And this is why people left California. Look at Florida. Oh, they have major stuff all the time and disasters. We have fires every freaking year, major fires. We need to put stuff together so we know this is coming. This is called disaster preparedness. The problem is they prefer to waste money on homeless because they can steal that money and put it somewhere else.
Right.
Let's just like that whole stupid hotel in San Francisco for alcoholics to go in there and drink all night and sleep it off. And that's $20 million a year that they pay for that. The stupidity of the state of our elected officials is the problem.
Yep.
I don't care what they say.
It will change.
It has to. Well, I think the problem is going to be is when they give us the federal money for doing stuff in California, they're going to say, okay, this is what needs to go in place in order for this to happen.
Right.
And then everyone's going to go, I cannot believe they're putting those things together to give instead of giving us the money. Well, did you know half of those houses down there that have fire insurance on it is only covered for 50%?
Right. Oh.
All right, I'm done.
You stepping down off.
All right, but I have one more little grief. All right.
Okay.
So I have somebody who is buying a house, and their company's helping them. They're giving them this grant for money.
Cool.
And there's a few people that are supporting them. And the problem is it was an off-market house. So, they got in before it actually was put on the market. So they got a good deal on it. Well, there's supposedly through the pest report about $16,000 worth of pest issues. Okay. And the seller's going, we're not going to do any help on that.
Okay.
Because if you look at a pest report, knock it in half, right? So you're probably talking really $8,000 at least, if max. And you got it 10 grand minimum under market. It was not on off market properties are what 20 to 30,000 usually undervalued.
Yeah.
And the people are like, well, that's just really bad that this seller is not helping out on this. Another guy who is a person who has a lot of rentals is going, I've never been in a situation where the lender allows a loan to be done and there's work that needs to be done on a house, dry rot.
Really?
Well, first of all, we have no idea about this. This is
right.
We actually had a waiver that only needed the inspection, and on the inspection report, the appraiser didn't call for anything,
right?
Because they didn't see any issues,
right?
And this is the problem when we talk about, well, you have an uncle or somebody who hasn't been in the market in a while and is thinking that it should be a certain way when in reality it's a totally different way. And I tried to explain to the guy and I said, why don't we do a Zoom with everybody and we can talk about this? Because what people don't understand is there's only 35% of the homes are even on the market as existing homes. Nationwide, we only have like 650 some thousand homes on the market. That's no inventory at all. It's a seller's market, period. And if you don't understand that, that is the first mistake. The second mistake is they're going to tell you go pound sand, put it back on the market and sell it to somebody else and make another 20 grand on top of it.
and maybe do half of what
They don't want to even do
best
anything.
Yeah.
And still make 20 grand more. And the person buying, he gets it, but it's the other people involved. And you have to understand, you have to get educated to where the market is in this market.
Got to get educated.
Education.
Hey, you know,
I'm sorry, I'm a little abrupt this morning.
That's what happens with off-market properties. One, you leave so much money on the table, then the sellers kind of realize they do that. So
and then
I'm not going to do a thing.
Yeah,
you're getting the deal of the century. And as a buyer, as a consumer, you should say thank you very much, and let's close escrow, and then you take care of it yourself.
Well, and I said, well, okay, let's in 6 months from now, is it really going to matter that you guys had to, pay $8,000 of this repair? And he's like, no, I can do probably most of the work myself.
Right.
I said, well, with your company, get a whole party going on out here, and everybody come out and get this. You can get stuff donated.
Is it just dry rot and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's just dry rot. But they were worried that once you take the fascia board off, you're going to see more. Well, then the inspector went in the roof and went and looked at everything and didn't call anything else. And so, I mean, it's, again, you just have, in this market, you have to be okay. And that's why things are different now, where conventional doesn't care. Is it subject to, or is it as is?
Right.
FHA doesn't want a pest report. We don't care unless the appraiser calls it. VA doesn't care unless the appraiser calls it. And you can use the short form VA saying there's no active pests,
right,
and take care of it later. Remember the house we did over in the college area that had the garage door next to the garage door that had that big dry rot peep missing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And it was like, I was in the appraisal, everything, and the value was still there, and the appraiser didn't call it to be taken care of, and we didn't have to touch it. And then I said, because we look at things differently. Is the value there? Is the value, and is that a major issue that we'd have to deal with?
Exactly. No. Yep.
So those are two things. So understand the market you're in. We're in this. If we had 3.5 million homes on market, they'd be bending over backwards to do everything for you to get rid of the house. We do not have that. We don't have a typical 1.2 million homes on a market. We're at 650, which is the low. It's not the lowest we've been. The lowest we've been was in 22 was 253,000 nationwide. That's how bad we are right now with homes on the market and people really jumping on them.
Yeah. And just like you said, no, we're not going to do it. Okay, we'll put it on the market and we'll make the more money, and we'll be happy, and you will be out of a house.
And guess what? Then we'll have all these inspections and we can get it done faster. Well, and they'll just, worst case, they'll go, let's just hold it for 30 days until March, because we know by March it's going to get really crazy because you're going to have the springtime. So right now is the perfect time to close on these houses and get into houses because it's still winter. And this is one of the, not weirdest, but we haven't had a winter like this where we haven't had rain and snow to where everybody can buy homes all over pretty much, unless you're up in 8,000 to 12,000 feet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty sunshiny out there. Right,
I mean, I got people going in contract and they're like, hey, we're living in an RV. How fast can you do this VA loan? I'm like, 10 days.
Yeah.
I can get it into the month. No problem. So I got to call that listing agent.
And I hope they bought a place with RV parking.
I'm sure they'll go put it somewhere.
Yeah. Put it in storage.
Yeah. All right. That's pretty much it. So again, understand the market you're in. I understand that sometimes homes are going to have issues, but if you can take care of yourself, take care of yourself, because you're getting a deal in the house in the first place.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody, make it a great day. Thanks for being here, Mike. We'll be back tomorrow, and Mike will have California numbers tomorrow?
No,
just
I'll have
local
San
numbers.
County.
Okay, all right.
Okay, dokes.
All right, make it a great day. Thanks for being here. Bye.